Alright, so it says we're on. Like I said, it's about 20 seconds behind, so I'll wait for it to come up, and then we'll get started.
Perfect.
Oh yeah, there it is.
So we're live?
Alright, we're going. Yeah, we're in.
Awesome. Welcome, comrades, to the Roaring 70s Tuesday special. Today's featured game is Game 1 of the 1972 Summit Series between the two biggest countries on the planet, Canada versus the USSR. Now, before we get this going, Ben, I gotta ask you, why am I the commie and you're the French Canadian?
That's a very good point. First of all, it's Ken Dryden. He's not French Canadian. I went based on size. Ken Dryden is like 6'4" and lanky, and Vladislav Tretiak is short and stout. So
Okay,
I went based on our features, our physical features.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I accept it.
Yeah, Ken Dryden is not a French Canadian. One of the rare not French Canadians to play for the Montreal Canadiens in the 70s.
Yeah, I honestly I didn't even know he was in French Canadian. I just assumed that he was, just because that's what the Montreal Canadiens seem to do all the time. They like their French goalies. Well, at least back in those days they did.
Yeah, like a lot of their team, probably like half their team was French Canadian.
Mm-hmm. I actually have the roster pulled up. I may have to take a look at it while we're watching. But yeah, it seems to be a decent amount of French Canadians on that team. Quite a few.
That's the Team Canada, not much.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the Summit Series.
Yeah. Yeah, guys like Guy Lapointe and stuff like that. But there seems to be a lot of English names on there. So it'll be interesting to see who's actually playing. Because that's first time watching it. So is there anything that you're kind of like looking forward to that you're going to be paying attention to?
I want to just see the style of hockey. I'm
Fair
really
enough.
interested to see basically like what are scoring opportunities, how are goals scored. Is it like we always kind of make jokes how guys just walking over the blue line and taking a slap shot was a high quality scoring opportunity. Like, but I actually don't know. I just kind of assume that's how hockey was played. So
Fair enough.
We'll find out.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, let's just jump into it, I guess.
Yeah, let's get to the. Do you want to skip the opening ceremony, or do you want to watch it?
Can we make it go forward faster, I guess?
Yeah, we can probably speed it up. Yeah. Watch it out 125.
Because I'm assuming, I think it was Pierre Trudeau that was the prime minister back then. So I'm assuming he'd be there.
Yeah.
And then I think I'm gonna have to look at it right now. I think the USSR were on their fourth. What does the USSR have? Do they have like a president, a king, or something? Or like I have no idea.
I'm not sure. I can't look it up just because I got the stream set up. I'm not set up to Google things, unfortunately.
Okay.
But yeah.
I'll take a look at it.
I don't think I'm set up to Google things. If I open a different tab, it might. Oh no, yeah, I just caught on the stream. If I open a different tab, it just goes blank. So
I see.
can't do it. What percentage of Canadian players do you think wear helmets?
Oof. Let's go with 60%. Nah,
there's
lower.
Pierre Trudeau.
Let's go. Yeah, let's go 60%.
60%. I'm gonna go a little bit lower. 72.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Canadian goalies still wear the plastic face masks.
Mm-hmm. Well, the way I'm looking at it is like you're playing against a foreign country in the middle of the Cold War. You probably want to wear a helmet for that one, you know?
Yeah. Or you just want to prove that you're way tougher than they are. Like, that's the other option. They're looking at it. They're looking at all these guys wearing helmets, and just laughing at them.
My grandpa gifted me a CCCP T-shirt when I was a kid. Actually,
That's awesome.
I used to wear it all the time.
Yeah, that's great.
I wonder if it pissed off anybody on my street, but I don't know.
Where you grew up, is it really are they really like proud Quebecois? I'm trying to think of a better way to say it. But are they like it's not national. That's the wrong term. But are they just? I guess yeah, I'd be like exceptionally proud of their culture.
Yeah, I would say so. Quebec is pretty protectionist of their culture.
I was gonna say like exclusive.
Yeah. Oh, hey Zach. Yeah, the thing is, you can actually tell like how much of a difference it makes all their protectionism. Like, if for anybody that lives in Alberta, if they go down to the U.S. in any state, it'll be less of a culture shock than if they go to Quebec, right?
Yeah, that's what I hear. I'm going to slow this down so we can hear the Canadian team.
Sounds good.
Being introduced.
You think they had to wait in the bread line before the game?
I hope not. Hope not.
No, they probably fed their athletes.
Yeah, I think so. They just get the same rations. It is communist. They probably get the same rations as everybody else.
I don't think so, man. Like, the elites got way more, so like I guess they would probably be considered elite, right? Unless they start losing games.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure about that.
If you lose games, you're going back to the gulag.
Dude, I think it'd be cool. We should do some research on the do some research on the countries from around that time. Like, I wonder what it was like to be on Team Canada in the last 4 games when you were traveling to Russia. Probably their first time in that country.
Yeah, probably.
What their experience would have
been like? Well, I can't remember because I know where the Olympics were at that time. So maybe they did end up playing in Russia at some point if the Olympics were around there, but I don't think so.
Yeah. Were professionals allowed to play in the Olympics then?
I actually just read about it for my history of hockey video, and I completely forgot.
Yeah, I don't know if they were allowed to play. If the pros were allowed to play in the Olympics then.
Pardon me, I'm just going off memory. My memory's terrible, but I think they were allowed, and then they stopped it for a bit, and then they came back after a while. But I believe that this game here, like at that point, the 1970s, they were not allowed, and that's why the 72 series is a big deal.
Yeah, I made reference in the title of reference to the Cold War, but it's like, I don't think any of these players would have known each other. Like, none of the players in the NHL there's probably a few Swedes, but there's probably very few Euros in the NHL at that time, so like, they'd have no idea who each other is.
Yeah, it was most likely all North American, eh?
Well, even think about the scouting. How you'd have to be European scouting trip.
That'd be pretty dope, though, especially back in those days.
You'd be there for like 3 months, probably.
Yeah.
It'd be a full-time gig.
But I wonder what the world was like during the Cold War, like traveling in Europe. If that felt sketchy, right? Because I mean, when was the Berlin Wall built?
I'm not sure.
Let's see. 1961 to 89.
Okay.
So, like, that would have been a weird time around the world.
Yeah. You said it was 61 to 89?
Yeah. It's crazy, man. When I was in Berlin, seeing the even nowadays, like being on the west side of Berlin versus the east coast, the east side, the buildings are older. It looks a little bit more worn down. The west coast the west side looks newer, more modern. Yeah. To be fair, I mean, it got destroyed quite a bit during the war and everything, but like, yeah. You think Leonid Brezhnev was the USSR leader, but I don't know. The Supreme Soviet is what.
That's what it was called, the Supreme Soviet?
Yeah. Well, that's what Wikipedia says. Heads of state.
That's a sick title.
It's pretty good.
That's way cooler than like president.
He was the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. He was the fourth one. He wasn't there for very long, just 4 years. Oh, sorry.
I'm just responding to Ponzi right now.
Oh, okay.
He said, "Were the Russians be playing in the KHL, or was that even a thing?" It definitely was not a thing. No, I'm pretty sure they just like practiced.
Like, I think they just did international tournaments. Yeah, I think they were considered amateur.
International tournaments and training.
Yeah.
Like in communism, where like you get this one job and this is what you do. Like this was their full-time job.
To each according, each according to their need, to each according to their
from each according to their ability, to each according to his need.
Yeah.
So I mean, like these guys probably just would have been the best athletes around. Like, okay, so you're gonna be on our hockey team. So yeah, there's no professional league where you would make a lot of money or make more money than anyone else. You just by definition made the same amount. This is just what you did. Since Pomsey's watching, I'll just ask him, throw an answer in the chat. Do you like this setup? Like, is the screen for the game big enough? You like having the chat on the side? It's just kind of what we've seen done on YouTube before, and we kind of liked it. So, if there's a different,
we're boomers.
Yeah, if there's a different format, something you think might work better, let's give us a shout.
Also, let us know if the volume of the video is too loud for a voice. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, there's a few times that I've put on the Soviet national anthem in the background because it's so cool. It's so good, man. Like, Soviet orchestra was so good.
Well, you had to be if you weren't.
Yeah,
if you weren't, I don't know what the other option was, but it definitely wasn't you were playing in an orchestra.
They look like they've got decent size, though, eh?
Yeah. You mean the players?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're huge. They're big dudes.
Yeah, they're definitely not waiting the bread line.
Big dudes. Dude, look at the old school picture-on-picture. It's a Canada flag.
Ton histoire est une épopée de tes plus brillants exploits. I like how they're doing it in French.
I don't think they could do it in English in Montreal. The French would get really upset.
It's half and half.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's not though. They're playing it full French.
Oh yeah. No, it's half and half. So usually that's when you go back to English.
Oh yeah, they're switching back.
Yeah, see, we're true Canadians in Quebec. We speak both official languages.
Yeah.
We don't discriminate. Kind of, we kind of do. Quebec is never discriminatory.
I've been doing some reading about like the Canadian Confederation. I guess that's the only way they could get the French civilizations on board. It was like, hey, you guys can do your own thing. You'll be part of this Canada, but you do your own thing, speak your own language. But not only that, we'll say the whole country's bilingual, and they were on board.
Yeah.
All
right. Shall we put back to regular speed?
Yes, I'm on it.
Yeah.
Oh, why did it start over? Sorry, boomers.
We're about 15 minutes in.
15 in? Okay.
Yeah. There you go. Oh yeah, they had the face-up dots in the middle.
Yeah, the offside dots.
Yeah. Oh man, that is sweet. Look at those.
Whoa, you see that dude just fly through?
Jesus, the Canadians are not wearing helmets, but the Russians are.
Dude, I don't think very many of them were wearing helmets. Like, you said 60%.
Yeah.
So far, it's 0%. Tretiak's a pretty big dude too. I thought he was smaller.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, goal. Rebound.
Take that. I mean, no, I'm supposed to cheer for
You can cheer for whoever
commies.
you want.
I'm cheering for the commies. I'm a commie today. Freedom sucks. There we go, replay.
Yeah. That's a good dish.
High to low.
Oh, you see that? Put it right through the guy's legs.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, he picked it up in the air.
Sick.
Sick.
It's really it's strange how slow the puck is moving. Like compared to a game that you would watch, like the Stanley Cup Finals this year.
Yeah. Well, man, like, I was looking at their skates during the face-off, and even the player's skate seems very flat.
Yeah, they don't turn very well at all.
Yeah. That was a nice pickup. Who was in net for Canada for this game?
Ken Dryden.
Oh, okay. First time watching him play, I heard so much about him, but
I think all goalies from back then, just to us, will look the same. They'll just look like they're making kick saves and scrambling. Until we watch it for a little bit. Yeah, that's a good trip.
Yeah.
Trip good.
Whew, yeah.
There's one helmet. Guy taking face has a helmet too. So far, we're 2 helmets for Canada.
Yeah, Tretiak is pretty big.
Yeah, I thought he was a little guy.
And the Canadian team ragged with Red Berenson, clearing it right down the ice. He and Peter Mahovlich are trying to kill off the penalty. Maltsev nearly was stopped on his own defense, starts down the right side, and Mahovlich leaned on him, and Berenson shot it down the ice. 1-0 for Canada. Fast goal. There's nearly a collision. Down the right side. Harlamov coming back. A shot by Maltsev. A scramble up.
Dude, he's
so
tall.
Yeah, that looked like it hurt his knees. He just fell backwards on his knees.
Well, it looks like he's tall. He's standing super tall, and then dropping like from really high up.
He's like jumping down. Yeah, I think he's like 6'5" too. He's a huge guy.
Especially with pads that kind of rotate, right? Like that fall flat on the ice. Oh, that was some bad puck handling there, bud. Oh, kick save.
That's sick. I just like first impression. It looks like the Russian team is way more skilled.
Yeah.
Oh,
pad stack,
the
man.
pad stack. He blocked the pass with his stick.
That's how I learned it back in the days, man.
Yeah,
You pad stack and you keep your blocker down, you stick down, paddle down on the one side.
Yeah, just in case guys cut back on you.
Yeah. On the other side, it was your hand that was going down, but it wasn't as good, you know. Yeah.
Don't have your stick. You don't have that reach with your stick.
How about that shuffling though, eh?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was sweet.
God.
You know what that looks like? A tee shuffle.
Totally.
I don't even know what a tee shuffle is, but that's what it looks like.
Another try for Shadron.
It looks like he bends his hips a lot, but not his knees.
He's so lanky.
Yeah, he is. He's kind of like the 1970s Ben Bishop, eh?
Yeah.
How do you feel a nowadays mid AAA team would fare against those guys?
Honestly, I think they'd be. I think they'd be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'd be very close.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like the only difference I can see is men versus people who aren't fully men.
Yeah. Yeah.
That I think that might be a huge factor. But as far as skill goes, like these guys aren't doing anything from a skill standpoint that you don't see midget players do. Whereas, like, if you watch in today's game, you watch midget versus you watch a game of midget hockey and then watch a game of NHL hockey. It's just like the NHL players do things that midget players can't do, and these guys aren't really doing anything out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
They don't have the equipment. I don't even think they have curved sticks. Maybe. Oh yeah, their sticks are curved.
I think the biggest difference factor would actually be the goaltending. So like I don't think it'd be a fair game if you had a mid AAA goalie in net in one of those games. I think
totally.
If we take out the goaltending, it'd be close.
You put one of these guys in net against a midget AAA team.
Yeah. No center shifting.
Dude, that looks like an injury.
Yeah.
It just looks painful to me. Also, how dope are Canada's jerseys with the whole leaf on the front?
They're nice, man. I want to see them making a comeback. Like that's a cool jersey.
I would love to see in the World Juniors if Russia decided to do a retro CCCP jersey. I don't know if they would, if that's like politically correct, but that would look cool.
I think they just have to annex a few more countries. Like they just got Ukraine, and you get a couple more.
Yeah, a couple more
then we'll
back,
talk.
they'll be okay.
He looks a little worried, I think. He's pacing a little bit like a cat. But they've made the change on that scoring play. Apparently the puck didn't go over the line.
Dude, I can't believe those guys are not wearing helmets. I would be terrified of playing like a competitive game with no helmet on, with hitting allowed.
In the 70s too, and people just fought all the time.
Yeah.
Guskin had cleared it over to Gusev. Gusev shot it over the line. Mahovlich cleared it out at center ice. And Blinov gets that puck at the Canadian blue line, overskated it, a loose puck.
You know what you really don't see out here? Is stops and starts. Everyone just circles.
Actually, I did see a couple guys stopping earlier, but not many. Yeah. But I wonder if it's a coaching thing, or if it's just like it's not as efficient with the technology of the skates, right?
Yeah,
like it'd
nice
be hard to know.
Stand up elbow shoulder save. Yeah, I don't know, like, because there is like something to be said about if you turn, if you do like a flyby, you just carry your speed.
Yeah. Because man, like I was talking to a kid, I can't remember who exactly, but we're talking about skates, and I was telling him how back when I was a kid, you really had to dry up the blade, because if you wouldn't dry up your blade, it would just rust.
Yeah.
Kids don't know what that pain is like nowadays.
Yeah.
And those guys, like, that was way before our time. So like I can't imagine what the skate technology was like.
Yeah. Yeah. I bet they're just leather boots, essentially.
Yeah. And how heavy the steel must be, right?
I don't even think they're rounded. Like, I don't think the back of the skate. Are they rounded at all?
I don't remember. I just remember seeing that the blade seemed very flat to me when I had the face off. But I guess we'll probably see, like, when they start the second period and they have a face off in the middle, they'll probably show their skates again. Like, you can kind of see it, right? Like, the back of the blade's very flat.
Basically flat, yeah.
Terribly dangerous out there. On that first goal, the way Esposito picked it up, and it's so typical of Phil Esposito. Mahovlich made the play on goal, but he didn't quite put it in. It hit the pad, and Esposito's standing right on the doorstep. And if you leave Phil Esposito there,
because based on the research I'm doing right now, the hockey on ice hockey would have only been around for about 100 years at that point. 90 years, I think, at that point. And but organized hockey games didn't happen till, because what is it, 75?
training
Yeah,
camp.
about 80,
Bobby
90 years prior.
Was it late 1800s or like
Yeah,
1905?
It was like late 1800s, like almost 1900s. So,
Oh,
nice.
it's gone.
That was a quick play.
Yeah, if you put a midget AAA goalie and he just like that's in the corner,
Yeah,
stick on puck.
yeah. Dude, you take a guy from the early 2000s, he'll just drop and block on that thing and make a save.
The Russians missed this face-off cleanly. Goes to the right. Hard taken out. Ellis back to Henderson.
One-timer.
Henderson a quick snapshot for the right
Oh
corner.
yeah.
Tretiak had the angle cut off.
That's the problem with the kick saves, right? You pull yourself away so much on those saves.
And like to reach that puck, like you go forward first with your skate blade, and then you have to come back around
Yeah.
to try to hit it. So it's very indirect. It's like we were talking about making circle motions with your hand. It's like a circle motion with your skate to try to get the puck.
Not to take anything away from the from Tretiak, because that was a whole different era, but the rink guy at Cardell was telling me how Tretiak is better than all the goalies that are playing nowadays, and I'm gonna have to disagree with him on that one.
Dude, I just saw a guy take a snapshot with a wooden stick and score on the ice, so to be fair.
This is game 1 from Montreal.
That's all good.
Yeah,
Who needs audio
We
anyway?
can fill the airwaves. I wonder what the average slap shot speed was at this time, this era.
Good question.
It's like that dude just wound up and took a clapper, and the camera guy acted like it was crazy fast.
I mean, I don't see why it would be like. I mean, obviously the sticks are different, right?
Yeah,
But
weight transfer would be a little different.
I mean, most of it is your weight transfer, right?
Yeah.
Your core strengths. I mean, I could see their skills not being the same, but I could see it maybe like being 10 miles per hour slower, maybe, which is a lot, but like, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't seem that big of a deal. Yeah, just looking at Tretiak just kind of trying to slide, but kind of like putting his back leg down, his leg out. You can totally tell that if they just knew how to butterfly slide, they would be they'd be making so many more saves.
Yeah, it's knowledge and equipment though. Like even if you knew how to butterfly slide, I actually don't think you physically could.
Yeah. That's the thing, though. It's like one has to come before the other, right? So the actual butterfly pie has to come first before the pad actually adapts to it.
Yeah, I think we'll probably see quite a few knee drops though.
Yeah, I could totally see that too.
We'll see like VH at the top of the crease, sort of thing.
Oh, look at that guy coming out of the penalty box.
That guy's a giant.
That was a good scoring chance right there. Yeah, I think I'd have to agree. I think the Soviets are definitely more skilled. You seem more skilled.
Yeah, they possess the puck better. They're way more patient with it.
Even the way they pick up passes, man. Like, yeah, look at those pills.
Yeah, that's sick.
And I love how he used to just stand there like this in his crease.
Yeah, like think about how tall a goalie stick is. Just let's get on the Google machine. How tall is this guy? He looks like he's probably 6'4" or 6'5".
Mm-hmm.
I guess I can do it on my phone.
When was it that the U.S. went to space?
They went to the moon in 1969. I think space would have been around 1960, 1961.
Let's see, moon landing.
Yeah, 6'4". Dryden 6'4". Moon landing was 69. I know that.
So 59 was the Soviets. Got Luna 2
Because
on.
they were in space first. I think.
Yeah, 69.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was after.
The U.S. went to the moon first, but I think the Soviets were in space first.
Yeah, that's right.
That was a good pull up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're more creative with the puck.
Yeah.
They do things quite a bit differently.
The other thing too is, to be fair, I don't think the Canadian team played. That was their first time playing together, right?
That's
like,
true.
I mean, they probably practiced a few times, but like the Soviets were that was their
job
team.
to play together. Yeah, that's fair.
It was one of those weird things where they go to international tournaments or amateur tournaments like the Olympics, but they're basically pros, right? Like,
yeah, I think in the Olympics around then, they just ran through the entire competition. I don't think anyone was close, except for 1980, because they made a movie about that one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the premise of the movie was that Russia just keeps rolling through this entire tournament, and then they didn't that year.
Well, that's the thing. It's like everybody was amateur, except for them, really. I wonder how different it would have been if the U.S. and Canada were able to have their NHLers.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe that's one game we need to watch at some point. Is a Miracle.
Yeah,
Miracle
we should if we can find it. Watch the Miracle. So that was 1980, so we can do that in our 80s.
Yeah. Because what do we have? What do we have Thursday? We have the '85 Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah, we can watch that one. I looked up the game and it's not a good game. The final score was like 8-2 or 8-3 or something like that. So we can find a closer game.
Okay.
It'd be more entertaining to watch.
You're not supposed to watch a score first. Like you're spoiling it for yourself.
Well, I just want to make sure that it's entertaining. You know, I want
8 goals a game. It's supposed to be that super entertaining. That's what the NHL's trying to do. More goals.
Yeah, more goals in 1-goal games. Like 8-7.
Yeah.
8-7 would be mad fun.
Yeah. Fair. Yeah, the Canadian team doesn't really possess the puck very much.
No, they miss passes. Like you said, like even the way the Russians just pick up passes looks way cleaner.
Yeah.
Like that dude just skating back for the puck looked like a grandpa. He had a cul-de-sac in his hair. It was this.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with cul-de-sacs.
Give me 1 second. I gotta turn the light on. I just was running by window light, and it's dark now.
Freaking guy making fun of cul-de-sacs. That's my haircut.
It was thought Mahovlich scored it, but it was finally changed to Esposito. Then Henderson, on a quick shot from Clark and Ellis, scored at 6:32, and that's the way the score stands.
Ben doesn't know what the pain is of going bald.
No, I have one spot that's one corner that's coming back. It's been coming back since I was about 21.
You can hide it pretty good though, right?
Oh, yeah.
And bounces over to this side. Vladislav trying to clear to the corner. It's set right front. It's goal.
That was a bad
Fuck, that pass
DOM.
up.
Bad DOM.
Yep.
Found the corner of the
Yeah.
net.
Came around the top and back in.
That was a
Well, that's the problem, right? If you don't slide and you're kicking save or kicking pucks every time, it's like you have to go from the outside back in.
You do, yeah. So indirect.
Yeah, like right here, it's
Yeah.
like I'm gonna go back like 5 seconds here.
right
Yeah.
off the side of the net.
Like,
Now Zeman has looked terrific in the practices so far here, and watch him park himself just off to the
it's like
far
already
side
he's
of
so
Dryden.
narrow on his post right here. His knees are nowhere close to the ice, right?
His back leg's
No.
super high.
Yeah, and then as soon as that pass leaves, it's like he has to go in the straight line out and then back in. So it's just it.
Concentrate. And
But I think
Definitely
that was,
not.
I think that was the
Not a
theory
goal in the
too.
world would have
Like I
stopped
think
it.
the theory was depth first.
Seaman is a top
Yeah, maybe.
player. He's shown
Maybe.
that in practices.
Like gain
Well-
depth first and then try to
Right
come
through.
back on angle.
Because even him leaning away from the high shot didn't help either.
Puck
Yeah.
goes into the Canadian zone. Now it's 2-1 for Canada, and the Soviet making a real battle of it. The ice seems to be slowing up a bit, and Maltsev tried to center out. It stopped.
JC Pope, you should do Miracle on Manchester. What's the Miracle on Manchester? Let us know.
No idea.
Send us a link, Jesse. We'll check that out. I really don't know what you're talking about.
Miracle in Manchester.
Cleared it to him. Now Rattel lost the chance when it bounced off his stick. Was Sakankov down. Maltsev was knocked over. Canada keep it in park. Cleared it on the boards. The puck comes right back to the...
Oh, is the Miracle in Manchester is a nickname given to the National Hockey League playoff game between the LA Kings and Edmonton Oilers that took place on April 10th, 1982 in the league's 65th season. The game, the third in a best-of-5 postseason series, was played at the Forum, the Kings' home arena at the time, which was situated in Manchester Boulevard, hence the nickname, in a Los Angeles suburb of Inglewood. The Kings completed the largest comeback in NHL playoff history, going from being down 5-0 to winning the game 6-5 in overtime.
All right, that sounds great. If we can find that, find a link to that video, we'll watch that.
Yeah. Combined with upset wins in Game 1 and 5, the Kings eliminated the heavily favored Wayne Gretzky-led Oilers in a 3-2 series victory to reach the second round.
It would have been Grant Fuhr. Grant Fuhr won that probably. And it wouldn't have been Kelly Rudy then, I don't think. That's too early.
Let's see.
And the Soviets are putting on the pressure.
I can't really find it right now, so I'll look into it later.
The Canadian team seemed to tire a bit. Peter Mahovlich failed to get out. Mihailov. Berglund over on the right side. And is cleared onto the left wing by Redmond, only to have Gusev go all the way back into the Soviet zone. Bad pass. Redmond is knocked over. There's going to be a penalty on the play. Redmond was upset by Mihailov. And here goes a tripping penalty.
What? I think those refs are biased.
Yeah, I didn't see trip. You see trip?
I guess we'll see on the replay. Or maybe they won't show it.
Boris.
Getting ready for the face-off. Canada sent out Red Berenson. Esposito is going to take the face.
Yeah, they're not going to show the replay because it was bullshit. So Edmonton Oilers, they had Grant Fuhr, Ron Lowe, and Andy Moog. I don't know which one of them played.
Goes into the corner, he's tripped there.
And then
Mihailov definitely deserved a penalty.
Yeah, he certainly made sure the Canadian player went down. From the face-off, the puck goes back to Sealing. Over to Berenson. They're using their power play.
The Kings had Doug Keens, Mario Lessard, and Marcus Matson. I have no idea who they are. Mike Blake.
To be fair, you think about goalies from the 70s and 80s, we would only hear about the really good ones.
Yeah.
We wouldn't know your average guys.
Yeah.
At all.
I know Andy Moog and Grant Fuhr because they played a bit in the 90s, right? But even Grant Fuhr, I was looking at pictures of him when you mentioned you want to watch a game with him, and I was like, man, I didn't even know that's what he looked like.
No. Well, and the other thing too is because they played. Andy Moog, I think, is from around here, and he played in Edmonton. You kind of hear about them from dads around the area.
Oh. Did he miss the net on that?
Yeah, I think he just whiffed on it.
To the gulags. Just kidding. We're freedom-loving country.
We'll apologize. He'll come back, apologize for missing the net, and it'll be okay. Sorry.
Freedom makes Canada weak.
Sorry, I missed the net, eh?
You don't know real toughness unless you live in an oppressive country.
I don't know, man. I think cold builds toughness just as much.
Yeah, it does.
Dude, but in the CCCP, it's cold and oppressive.
Yes.
Good save here. Esposito, the big long reach to the outside. How do you stop?
And you have limited supply of potatoes, so it gets pretty rough.
Dude, how about that reverse pad stack?
That's pretty sweet.
The Russians couldn't have been doing their homework faster. They're leaving Esposito standing in that slot area, and they're going to get.
Oh, look at that squat from the ref.
That's great.
That's a great puck
17
drop.
left in the first period. 2-1 for Canada, and it's close. Park.
Have you ever tried playing with those long gloves that go over your wrist all the way up to your elbows almost,
Yeah.
like what they're wearing?
It's so hard.
Yeah, it is, eh?
Yeah.
So stiff.
Back at center ice.
My dad used to have them. I don't think actually, I think my first pair of gloves was like that, but I was, you know, in Timbits or novice, so it didn't really matter. I sucked anyway.
Being chased by Vikolov. He's knocked over. Park is upset. Raglan will get a tripping penalty. The play goes right on. It's back to the net. They're jamming.
You know what's crazy too is pads back then had no colors, right? They're all leather.
Brown.
Because I remember when I was a kid, that dude looks like Stephen Harper. Just a better haircut.
Way
Though.
better haircut.
But I remember in novice, man, I got a pair of colored pads, and I was like high end. There's no colored
Yeah,
pads
'cause that
back in
would
the
have been
day.
like 95, right?
Yeah, I think I was
96.
97. Yeah, 97.
One thing, Bobby Orr there. We can see at the end of the first period, Bobby Orr will be interviewed as well as Alan Eagleson. And there will be a feature on the two coaches, Harry Sinden and Bob Robb of the Soviets, and some of their background leading to this first confrontation.
There's one thing when the Soviets get a penalty, there's not much doubt about it. They've been very glaring penalties. So there's never been any argument.
Does it seem kind of like a small building, or oh no, there's a second
Yeah,
stage
second
over the top
tier.
there. Yeah.
So far, when each team has had
Was the
puck,
Montreal
they have been
Forum
very
around
dangerous.
when you grew
So I
up?
think it's absolutely critical.
was it already-
I don't.
was it
It's
already
still
closed?
around, but they didn't play in it.
They
Yeah.
were already out of
They
it
can
when you
both
grew
get
Yeah.
up.
with it.
Mihailov nearly got
My
loose,
first time
gets
actually
over
going to a
Petrov.
game was pretty sweet. It was
Oh!
what? Oh,
Frontside recovery, baby.
Petrov
That's
Yeah.
what happens.
rebound.
that's
Goalies
exactly
out there,
what
that's what happens when you frontside recover.
Petrov gets that goal on a breakaway.
Just don't do it.
I think this was Derek Sanderson, the way they break up the middle. Petrov gets the puck up. Now watch Petrov comes in behind.
Managed
Now
depth
watch
pretty
the
well,
pursuit.
though.
Yeah, he
Terrific
did. Kept him in
concentration,
front.
puts the backhand
Dude, if
over
he
Dryden's
just
pad,
backside
up
recovered
into
on
the
that
top.
play, that was a save though.
Oh, and it was on the ice too. He went
Yeah.
up and down.
And he also moved in a straight line across. But I think that's one of the reasons as to why they didn't really have a good direction of movement is because if you get up at your lead leg, then rotating after takes way too much time, right? So you just have to move in straight lines all the time. So I'm pretty convinced that like we did on our seminar on Sunday, I'm pretty convinced that direction of movement didn't come till after guys started going
Yeah.
down the butterfly, till like sometimes in the 90s.
Well, it would have been off of plays like that, the scoring chances off of rebounds. Like when you basically can't score on a straight shot anymore, your scoring chances, you're forced to start to use multiple lateral feeds or shoot for rebounds and stuff like that. So then the goalies would have to figure out DOM.
Yeah.
DOM once a straight shot's no.
Oh, standing save.
Did that hit him in the crotch? It looked like a standing.
No,
crotch save.
I think that hit him right in the pads.
Now watch
Okay.
this replay. Now Petrov, he's
He just
close.
stood right
He's
up.
gotta find
This is
out where the
6
puck
Yeah.
Yeah, see right here,
Yeah.
just has to
Backhand
step
from
over,
Dryden.
and
Patty knows it'll be
he almost
there.
had it though.
Put it up.
Yeah.
You know what? If he had good DOM, he might have been able to get it.
Yeah, because he would have been behind him. He would have had more time.
Yeah.
At one time, Canada had a 2-0 lead, but they didn't appear to earn the lead or have that difference in the play.
Foster again, it's his puck control. They both know how to handle the puck. They both know how to score when they get it. So it's absolutely critical that if you don't have a good scoring chance, you still have to control the play. You have to chase the
How much is left in the first year?
corner. You have to
We're under
dig for the puck
5. I think we're down to
continually.
like 2 minutes.
Okay.
One thing
I had to take
Canada
an intermission bathroom
they have
break.
to fight for
I just want my
everything in
boys to get the
this
lead
series.
here before we get in a dressing room.
Was it's 2-2, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Canada at center, coming up over the line, cleared behind is Esposito. Then Bergman gets a pass in front of Mahovlich.
I want them to call on the spirit of Lenin and just get another goal in.
Quite a bit on this ice. Another try for Canada, right front.
Stalin's a little too
Oh, that
hardcore.
was sick.
Drive on
That was a nice kick
Tretiak,
save.
who
That is
handled
pretty sweet.
himself extremely well, so there's no weakness.
Yeah, I think
in
Stalin
the
was a little too
Soviet
hardcore.
goal.
Lenin was a
Yeah.
little bit crazy, but you know, not as hardcore as Stalin was.
Standing right up
He didn't
to
make people
everything
disappear
going
in the
his
same
way.
rate.
Nope.
Left in the period.
60 million disappearances.
Soviets still a man shot short. Mahovlich
Oh,
fired,
is that a save?
just missed the post
Oh,
by
okay, you
inch.
missed it.
Yeah.
Quick break. Here's Petrov.
Oh, he
coming
jumped off the
down
bench,
over
201.
line. Passing right in front to Raglan.
Nice stop.
Yeah.
On the
Did you see how his like back foot just rotated underneath?
Yeah.
With, like half a pad
Every
step
time.
with low coverage.
Makes sense, right? You get your lead leg down on the ice first to get low coverage, and then you kick your back leg underneath, so now you get low and mid coverage.
Yeah.
In this type of hockey, you can pass the puck from your end zone right to the opposition's blue line as long as you're inside the red line. And what it means is they'll always stand a man right out at the
I wonder
center,
if there
up
was
at the
theory
top of the
behind it.
circle or almost
If
the
there was
center ice.
technique, or
And
if
of
they
course,
just like
the Canadians,
guys
because
back
they
then
might
just
not
went out
be
and
in
played.
the top shape that they'd like to be in, makes a lot of back checking.
I'm curious. Well,
All set for the face-off. Shadron
how
is
advanced was
facing
the
off with
coaching
Clark.
back then?
Clark got the draw back
As
to
far as
Clark.
goaltending goes,
Clearing
Well, I
it
mean, in
to
general.
I'm
being
not
watched
sure.
by
We'll
Vladislav.
obviously never
Now
know.
a long shot
Yeah.
was dead on
That was
there.
a sweet save.
Dude, that's
As
good
Yakushev let
flexibility.
it go. He's
Do
a
you remember
Controlled
when
right in the
Roarin
corner.
used to feel like after a
Soviet.
game?
Quick pass to Henderson. 19 back to Bergman at number 2 at center. Bergman goes over the line.
They must have had like pretty strong core, man. They're basically planking every time, like
Yeah.
putting your hand down and just extending. Like,
To end the first period with a 2-all tie. But the score, well, I think the Soviets really got a lift up.
I gotta run to the bathroom real quick.
oh, let's go. I'll keep it going.
Making that comeback of 2 goals. Esposito got the first one for Canada, then Henderson, and when the Soviets were down 2-0, then Zeman came through, followed by Petrov, and that was it for the end of the first period. Now we're getting underway as the puck is at center ice, starting the second period. Bernoyer
Oh, Jesus,
cleared it
terrible
back into
pass.
his own zone. Bergman goes back of his own net for Canada.
Yeah, I don't know what Ben's talking about. I like that dude's haircut. It's a nice cul-de-sac. That's a man's haircut right there.
Couldn't get away, and Mihailov was
I'm gonna
checked.
try to make it
And
popular
was trying
again.
to keep the puck in the Soviet zone. Esposito did his best, but the puck is knocked down the ice park. Number 5 going after it, and he goes back of the Dryden with Blinov standing there waiting. Also Mihailov. Blinov moves over 9. Slides out to center ice. Petrov cleared it right on to Cornoyer's stick. Cornoyer weaving a bit, and the puck goes back at center. Bergman cleared along.
So V's like, who's the defenseman with the cul-de-sac? Because I think he's my favorite player.
Red Berenson.
Okay, so he's my favorite player now.
He looks like a guy whose name would be Red Berenson.
Both teams
To be fair.
They're both sort of playing it very closely. They're trying to find
I'm
out,
not sure.
what the other team might have in mind.
I just kind of assume the French Canadians have great hair,
Both guns blazing in that first period.
which is
And now
strange because you're
they're just
one
sort
of 2
playing it
French
closely,
Canadians
and
I
I
know.
think that the
Yeah.
Russians are looking, the Soviets are looking for an opportunity.
I used to have real nice hair.
Yeah, you had spikes.
Long and thick, yeah. Spike it up. I gel it. I don't think kids gel it anymore, but I used to gel it.
Pomade now. Now
Yeah,
everyone's into pomade.
You only do the frosted tips, only the top, only the front.
Oh,
Like,
really? Do you have the ski jump?
Tintin style.
Did you do the ski
Yep.
jump haircut?
Yep.
Yeah,
I rocked it so
I had
well.
a ski jump.
And I would always wear a hat where my hat would come up so it wouldn't touch a ski jump.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is working on Vladislav. Both Lyapkin and Vladislav on the defense.
They're having a few words there between Vladislav and Bobby Clark. Bobby Clark tried to come out. from
It's
the
funny
corner, something he does
seeing how
very
nobody
well.
had
Clark
any
here, he
beards
tried to
going
jam
back
it
then
in
because it
the
was
corner,
army
he's
time, right?
Yeah,
So everybody had
right
clean
after
shaven.
the war was all about being clean shaven.
Yeah.
Popular.
From the face-off, the Soviets get the draw, clear the puck off the boards to center ice. Yakushev got over the Canadian line. Clark clears it to Berenson. Berenson.
Dude, back then you'd have to know how to shave too.
Ellis took his shot.
Yeah.
Oh, he pinched it.
As Tretiak
Like,
one.
I don't not know how to shave, but when I use a razor, I get mad razor burn all the time, so I just use clippers.
I do as well.
Yeah.
Which is why I have been shaved in years. I just
Yeah,
I
you
just
use
use a clipper.
Yeah.
He had to jam his pads together. He was lucky to get that.
That was nice. Pads tight together. That's how you do net play, man.
Yeah. Great mobility.
Yeah.
You can T-push anywhere from that spot.
I mean, wasn't it Nabokov that kept using that till
Yeah,
he
he did
retired?
that till he was out of the league. As soon as guys would wind up for slap shots, he'd just put his pads together.
The puck is cleared out by Sagankov, right down to Ori, who's being watched on the play by Vilikov. From the corner, Karlamov tried to pass. He goes right back to recover the puck.
Oh, that was nice. No, that was not nice.
Between the legs and then just a turnover.
On the Canadian defense. Sealing couldn't reach the pass, and they're still missing that team play. Down the right side, Rattel lobbed this blunt from the side. Maltsev recovers the puck.
They I haven't seen one person delay yet off the rush. Like here, like they never delay.
Oh, that was
yeah.
sick. He gave up depth way too fast on that play. Those C cuts. The heavy C cuts.
This is a tremendous individual effort. He beats Ori to the outside. Now he has to start cutting.
That would have made Karl Marx proud right there.
I think so.
He has to get the puck over to the far side, and he beats Dryden on the long
Oh,
side.
I just missed it because my cat just walked in front of the screen.
It was just a backhand to forehand. Quick backhand to forehand.
In Montreal.
Karlamov. Cool.
Got a good shift.
You got it again.
Yeah.
Dryden comes
Oh,
up,
yeah.
trying to play it, but he opens his pads a little bit, and it goes between.
Yeah, he always tries to swing his leg underneath.
Yeah.
Which I could see it work pretty well on like a lateral play, but I don't know how successful he'll be on straight shots like that every
It takes too
doing
long
that.
to get the coverage.
Yeah.
Oh no, Red Berenson wears a helmet. I was wrong.
He's a smart one. He's safe.
Back they go again. Blinov on that right side. He falls. Bergman recovered.
It's Bergman.
Bergman?
On the far side. Into the corner. Fired one. Tretiak grabs it.
Dude, his
They're
post
right
play's sick.
on top of him.
Yeah.
They're just shooting from low angles too.
And Redmond was almost in the net.
It's a good example there. You'll see Mahovlitz gets the shot, but look
Blast
at
a slap shot from the hash
Soviet
marks.
defensemen come and take the man looking for the rebound. Look at Redmond.
Yeah, he snaps his pads together real fast.
Again, the shot. Mahovlitz gets a good shot away,
Like
but there's no chance. for
he's
Redmond
smart
really
too,
get
like to
that
be
puck.
on his post in that play.
Yeah.
When guys shoot it, like he doesn't
Tretiak has looked very strong so far.
He
He's
doesn't
made any
try to
adjustments
just
he has to
challenge.
make to the
you know, like
different
he's
speed and
really
size.
intelligent about like when to be on post, when not to be on post.
3-2 after being down 2-0 early in the first period. Puck is in the corner. Redmond trying to center it out. It's blocked. Shot out to center ice. Zeman is crossing the line over to Yakushev. The drive is.
Dude, that was a hard snapshot. You see him pull that in?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that once yet. Guys just pulling in a shot before they release it.
Actually, I saw it earlier.
Did you? I missed it, yeah.
Yeah, it was the righty from Canada pulling it, and he shot it the same way, the same way he pulled it from. But he missed the net, I think, on that
Oh
play.
yeah, I remember that. It was like they had the angle from behind. Yeah.
Down the right side to LaPointe, who's cutting in on the left side. He took his shot. And Tretiak.
Yeah, Tretiak definitely handles low corridor plays better than Dryden there.
Didn't get his check. Then Shadron lost it to Esposito, who took a shot.
Dude, Esposito looks beefy.
Yeah, he's a thick guy, huh?
Speeds up over the line, pass behind him.
Yeah, he's big.
Such a sick pad pinch.
Oh man.
They do walk over the blue line and take clappers a lot.
Yeah, they do.
So he's got that far corner he can shoot at, but Tretiak doesn't move a muscle. He has it covered perfectly.
That's straight to the chest if he goes down.
Which would probably knock him out with that chest protector he's got on.
It's
body knockout.
interesting. Like Tretiak's helmet looks way better than Dryden's.
Yeah.
Like he actually has a bucket. Dryden just has the mask.
Yeah, he's wearing the old plastic face mask.
Dude, could you imagine having that thing on? Like,
I wouldn't play goal. Would you play goal? Not a
No.
chance. Not a chance
way.
I'd play goal.
Dude, I would be scared of playing right now as a player with no helmet, no mouth guard. Like I'm not doing. Like look at that. I'm not doing this. I don't have a helmet on.
Tomahawk that guy
Yeah.
in the head.
See, like, the refs are biased. It's like, oh, that was a penalty right there.
They got
Oh,
it. They
got it.
Canada will get the penalty.
They had to got that.
About damn time, ref.
Like, when you have people doing this and you're not going to wear a helmet.
Look at him holding a stick.
So
Dude,
it's a slew foot.
Look at him holding the stick the whole time.
And then look at the slew foot.
Oh man.
And that was
Jesus.
And then wait for it. Wait for it.
Clark's stick then comes down.
It's coming off.
Smash him in the head.
2 minutes right there.
Like,
Saw like 6 to 8 minutes of penalties. 2 minutes.
They want to hold on to it, and I think we'll see a lot more passing around the outside.
Your team's a bunch of goons, V's.
that was pretty dirty, yeah.
Berenson is terrific at controlling the puck.
Yeah, you do what you got to. You're only gonna get 2 minutes for that. Why wouldn't you?
It's a good investment.
Yeah.
No.
Probably take that guy out for the rest of the game with that helmet on.
Oh. How about that face-off, eh?
Oh,
Like,
God.
Canada's a man short. Soviets leading 3-2 in this second period.
Could you imagine knowing that you're willing to tomahawk a guy in the head like that and then decide to not wear a helmet? Like the other people.
well, here's the thing: would he have done it if the guy was not wearing a helmet?
I hope not, but you never know.
Yeah. Because there is something to be said, like, and if there's anybody watching right now that played in the KI, which I guess Pomsey did, but I don't know if he played like a lot of. I saw a lot of games so far, but from what I've been told, is when the KI brought back cages instead of the visors, it got a lot dirtier.
Well, I think it's unintentional. 'Cause I remember when I went to university, it was a switch from visor to cages for a lot of people. And the kids who had played in visors were way more control with their sticks. So there's a mix of kids from junior and kids from prep school. And the prep school kids had no control with their sticks. Like, we would just play, before the season could start, when we would do captain's practices, everyone would just wear, some of the vets wouldn't even wear visors, they just wear a helmet.
Nice.
And the prep school kids would cut them off all the time. Just not meaning to, like they weren't being mean or anything, they just don't have control over their stick because they've never had to wear a visor.
I see.
So like they try to do a stick lift and they just lift it too hard and they miss all the time. Yeah. It could be both though. Like this is kind of my experience is a lot of times it's not intentional, it's just they lack the control because you don't need it. But it could also have gotten a lot dirtier too.
Well, it's kind of like football versus rugby, right? Like I've heard some arguments that to make concussions go lower in the NFL, they may want to go back to leather helmets instead of the big helmets they have right now, because people would not like right now with the big helmets they have, they're not scared of getting getting head contact.
They feel invincible.
Yeah. But if you have a tiny little piece of leather on your head, you'll probably be a little more careful with your head naturally, right? You're not going to be as reckless when you hit somebody else, which is the argument they made for rugby, where rugby is just, it's the same, but guys are, because they're not wearing any gear, it's a lot more controlled.
Yeah, totally.
The only things I don't know for the NFL, if the entertainment factor will be the same without seeing huge athletic dudes running at each other full speed, but...
Well, it turns out that those hits aren't the worst ones. Like, when you see the highlight reel hits, when a guy's about to catch a ball and just gets taken out.
The line is probably the harder?
Yeah, it's all it's the repetitive mini traumas.
I see.
Of just like, when you say on the offensive line, where it's just like, just small hit after small hit after small hit after small hit. Yeah, I guess that's the worst.
Because it makes sense.
Once in a while, big hit.
Even in soccer, I hear concussions, like they have a lot of head issues from hitting the ball with their head.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem like much, right? But like I guess it's huge for the impact.
Well, yeah, there was it was a meme going around that was based on a study. Like the average hockey hit is quite a bit more impact than the average football hit.
Yeah, just because of speed.
Yeah, speed, and like open ice and things like that. But football has a lot more troubles. I mean, hockey has its troubles, but
obviously,
football has quite a bit more, even though the hits are technically technically less hard.
I guess one of the most dangerous things you can do is jet skiing all the time.
Oh yeah, totally.
It's just crazy.
Is that why everyone from Florida? Is that why Florida gets the reputation it does?
Dude, bro, don't disrespect, bro.
There's a, I think it's a 92.9 in town, the radio station. They have a segment that's like, is this story from Florida? Basically, is this the Onion or is it from Florida? Something like that.
It's like Cass, my wife was following a page on Instagram that they took down, and it was dating or siblings. Dude, it was great.
That's so funny.
They definitely all look the same.
What was the content?
So you just have like a girl, like two people. Like I won't say a guy and a girl. Sometimes there's gay couples and stuff, but I was like, you had a couple, and you just figure out like, oh, okay, are they dating or are they siblings? Because they look the same. And then even the way to kind of like, hold each other, right? Sometimes they're like, oh, they're obviously dating. They don't look the same, and they're holding each other kind of like, like they're dating. And it's like siblings. Like, holy shit.
They're just creepy. Oh, that was sweet. That's what we were talking about, like back leg sweeping underneath.
Yeah. See, I think that would work a lot better on a lateral play, not like on a straight shot like that. I mean, it was successful there because the shot was released from far away, but like from inside in,
it's okay because he had more time.
Yeah.
It was from reacting range, not blocking range.
It's like at this point, my scouting report would just be like shoot 5-hole every time, man.
Yeah.
Like shoot on the ice. Or shoot low corridor because he's not really as good as Tretiak is low corridor.
It just doesn't seem like he has a system. He just handles every play the same.
Yeah.
Whereas like Tretiak, when you watch, he kind of has a system.
Mm-hmm.
Here tonight are almost shocked at what they're seeing.
Foster, the two things that Team Canada do the best, they shoot better and they skate better.
You think so?
Stick to that.
Do they say
shoot
Canada
better?
skates better?
Yeah, I don't know.
I disagree with that. I
And
totally
they'll take
disagree
advantage
with
of
that.
it because of that superb conditioning. There's Alexander Yakashev, 6 feet 1 inch. Big, tall left winger. Good shot.
From the face-off, the puck comes out.
Oh, this guy's zooming,
Nice
though.
race for it. Redmond coming down, and he shot one very wide and high. It's kept knocked out finally by Vikolov. French player Sagankov lets Raglan take it.
Honestly, I didn't even know they had color TV back then.
I wonder how new it was.
Let's see.
One off Peter Mahavlich's stick, and the play is called outside the Soviet blue line, with the Soviets leading Canada 3-2. Canada broke into a 2-0 lead early in the first period. The Soviets came back strong.
In between the 60s and the 80s is when they made the transition. Yeah.
The lead in this second period. Karlamov, a very tricky player.
Oh, that was a gun.
Let a bullet drive goal.
The 4-2.
And it beat Dryden to
Yep.
the top left-hand corner. It had Dryden beaten all the way, and it's 4-2
That's
for
it,
the
just
Soviets.
that'll nullify anybody who says that the Soviets can't shoot.
Yeah.
Karlamov, one of their top players. Look at this quick shot. Now he catches Dryden back in the net. I honestly think.
I mean, he was top of the crease.
Yeah,
He
he
just
was
moved
pretty
away
high
from it.
up,
Like,
expected him to shoot that puck.
I don't know, man, though. If I was wearing that for a helmet, I wouldn't move towards pucks very much.
oh, dude. I know. But at this point, it's like,
I'd be slinging guns, too.
I mean, he's got no excuse to. I mean,
No.
Tretiak has a regular helmet, and he lives in communist Russia. Like, I mean, how can you not afford one? Like,
Well, it's freedom, right?
yeah.
It's freedom. He has the choice to wear a real helmet or not, and he chooses not to. Whereas Tretiak doesn't. There's no freedom to choose.
Soviet goal.
Choices are bad, kids.
Can be if you're choosing to wear that instead of a real helmet. There are wrong choices.
I like when Big Brother government makes the choices for me.
Coming down with Petrov centered in front. Bergman failed to clear it right in front of the net.
Oh, see, that was a nice pad
that
stack.
works.
While moving, it just he doesn't have good DOM, but like that's a sweet pad
Couldn't
stack.
get any farther.
It would have worked. I don't think that hit the net, but it would have.
No.
Into the Soviet zone. Esposito centered out in front.
Oof.
And Mahovlich nearly tipped one.
Dude, after they go knees on the ice, they get up slow. Like it looks like it hurts every time they go knees on the ice.
Well, the other thing too is look at Tretiak, like kind of like staying up on that play. That's a perfect example of like people trying to stay up for too long when being down is actually a way better play.
Yeah, that guy zaps it on the ice.
You know, as much as some people, so as much as some people like to complain that goalies post lean too much, right? They go down to RVH and they're down too early. It's like if you're down too late, that's not good either.
They're pushing Team Canada's defense.
Yeah, it's actually probably worse in a post because then you can't move. Because that's when guys get caught on a pass, like if it's a pass across, they have to go down first and then move.
Yeah, then move, right? So you can't really make saves on straight, like on Sean quick pass outs like that, and you can't really move as efficiently
It's
either.
better to be down too early on post lead, not in general. But it's
Yeah,
better to be
yeah.
down early than it is too late.
Not saying it's good, but it's like if you had to pick between one bad or the other bad, pick going down early.
There's things that are worse. Degrees.
Yeah.
There's degrees.
Yakushev is ready for the face-off. The puck goes to the corner. Lapointe clearing it back to the net. Ceiling.
I'm gonna be right back.
Over out the
Yeah, no
right
worries.
side. Hasn't got that puck out yet. Shadron kept it in. Then Zeman, number 11, clears into the corner. It's back to the blue line. A shot in front of the net.
Oh, look at that
And it
traffic
rolls off to
management.
the corner. With
Can't see the puck,
Yakushev
just drops
after it
one knee
again.
down.
Into the corner for Shadron. Then Zeman keeping it back to the blue line. Valediev gets his shot right on. And Dryden didn't seem to know where that was going. Canadian team finally get it out. Ellis over to Clark. The pass was too far. Here's Ellis trying to get the
Oh, this
return.
half-ice shuffles.
And Yakushev recovers. A forward pass to Shadron. Shadron 19 passes over to Zeman. Zeman is upset by Henderson, who goes into the corner, holds it against the boards as much as he can. Zeman knocked it loose. Comes back to Zeman, back of the net. Soviets still have possession. Zeman playing it
Oh, that
back
guy just got
and
punched in
over
the
line
face.
again. Zeman knocked it loose. Comes back to Zeman, back of the net. Soviets still have
I missed a
possession.
punch in the face.
Yeah, dude, here, go back. Just like it's a net front battle. And the one guy just decks the other guy. No penalty, nothing. Right on the top right.
Oh,
You see that?
Jesus! I was reading a little bit of stuff about the Summit Series, and the Russians were saying how dirty the Canadians were.
That's just
like,
hockey, man.
yeah, I
That
can
was-
totally see
That
it.
was pro hockey. Like, that's pro hockey compared to
Yeah.
amateur hockey.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm real curious to see Esposito later on.
Tony,
'Cause,
yeah.
yeah.
He was a guy that like would butterfly.
Yeah.
Oh, you when you were gone, Tretiak was half ice shuffling.
Yeah, I heard you say that.
Like he was managed his depth really well.
Tried to clear out in front. Red Berenson had it hit his skate.
He looked good.
Canada bring it back slowly to center ice.
He's
And
controlled.
Clark didn't follow through. Maltsev lost it, only to have the defense player Sagankov let Maltsev take it over the line again. They're crowding around. Every
You know what?
man
Like,
is up for the
if you
Soviets into the
if you
corner.
take away the
Watch his
goaltending,
passing.
what we were talking about earlier with the mid AAAs and stuff, I don't know if they'd be able to compete just because of the coaching, the modern day
Yeah.
coaching.
Right on, and Dryden made the save.
Yeah,
They
probably
always get
adaptability.
that puck on the goal.
Yeah.
Buster, that was a perfect example of the setup that the Russians used on their power play. At one time, they had 3 men stationed across the blue line. Now,
Look at those
Zagankov,
mitts,
who
eh?
is a defenseman,
It's
will then
huge.
Well,
walk
when
right
you,
into the
you
slot
see
here,
dudes just
and that's
hacking
where
everyone in the
normally a
head,
Yeah.
you need
Where
that
one of the
protection
top
on your
goals
wrist.
Oh,
scorers in
yeah.
The NHL will be standing, but in this case, it's a defenseman. So they go out there as a unit of 5.
Like,
They're
I mean,
interchangeable
in the
opponents,
NHL, they
and
didn't really
will go in
change
any
the
position
holding
they have
rules
to
till
when the
after the first
opportunity
lockout,
creates
really.
Yeah, it was pretty much the same through the
Yeah.
90s.
Like, man, I remember when I was a kid. Like, remember when Paul Correa got smashed by
Scott
was it
Stevens.
Scott Stevens? Like,
Yeah.
Jesus, man.
Yeah, that guy. I'm surprised he just like played again. I'm surprised he played again after that.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
There's no concussion protocols back then either.
I can't remember a hit that I've seen like that in the last 2 years. I don't watch that much hockey, but like, you would think I'd catch a highlight of something here.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there was a role for just being tough.
Yep.
Like you can't take up a roster spot for that anymore. If a guy's gonna be tough, he has to be decent.
Like, remember guys like Gino Ojic and stuff?
No, I don't remember Gino Ojic.
Yeah, he was just like this massive dude that played for Montreal.
Okay.
His skills were trash, but he was just a fighter. Like,
Do you remember that dude we were watching in the Heritage game?
Yeah.
He just looked trash the whole time. Everyone looked pretty decent. We're like, what does this guy do? It was Mike Ricci.
That was Colorado versus
Yeah, he's playing for Colorado.
was it Colorado Red Wings?
I think so.
What the team was? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, Ricci won the Stanley Cup. I remember. I said San Jose because he played for San Jose. I remember him in San Jose. But yeah, he was just awful. compared to everybody. I'm sure he's still good by the standards of the day, but compared to everyone else in that game.
Oh, there's a huge difference.
You just wonder.
In his skating abilities, puck handling.
It's like what we all know what your role was.
Yeah.
It's cornered in the corner. Lapointe takes his pass. Cleared it over the blue line to Park. Going down with Esposito on his right. Esposito cutting it on goal.
Oh, nice.
2 saves. Got that rebound too.
On the rebound.
You're like just like jamming the puck. He just attacked it.
Yeah. Clear space.
The Canadian player, Yakushev, overskated the puck. It's still in there, intercepted by Kornoye and Petrov of the Soviet. Was stopped too. Now Bergman at center to Esposito to Henderson as the Canadian team.
I wonder what brands the Soviet used for hockey gear.
3:32 left in the second
Yeah, I
period.
don't know.
Like were they able to get the same? Yeah, were they able to get the same brands as the North Americans, or did they have to make their own?
They might. I can see them just manufacturing their own stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's just wooden. It's just wood leather, and steel, really.
Yeah.
I wonder what brands were back then.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was Coho.
Cooper might have been around.
Yeah, Cooper was big. CCM probably, because CCM is Canadian Cycle. I don't remember what the M is, but yeah, it's they're originally a bike company, so they would.
I just went on eBay to look at the 1970s hockey gear, and first thing that came up was a CCM pair of skates.
CCM.
Yeah.
It's Canadian Cycle and Motor, I think. That's what CCM actually stands for.
Mm.
Going down with Rattel, going into the corner. He's watched by Paladiev. They jam in there.
There really is nothing else that pops up though.
Yeah.
With the score, the Soviets 4 and Canada 2. This is game 1 from Montreal.
Yeah, take that, Canada.
Yeah. This is just freedom. They have too much freedom, but they don't train enough.
You got too many things to do when you're free.
Too many choices that you don't train.
I mean, look at us right now. It's the epitome of freedom. We're just at home getting paid by the government.
Well, yeah, so much freedom that we choose to do this for work.
Yeah. So much freedom, we're not allowed to work.
Yeah.
You get fined for working.
Yeah.
There's my boy.
It's a good delay. That was a delay.
Yeah, there you go. Finally got one, yeah.
Didn't work at all.
No. It should have been a chip into the corner for that one, but which is funny because every time I feel like they chip it too much, and it's like, man, that was the perfect time.
That would have worked.
Chip it off the glass.
Tried to delay.
There's an article that I thought was pretty interesting that Scotty, our head coach in Olds, made us read. It was about dump-ins and it kind of like goes over the history of dump-ins and how teams used to dump and chase all the time, and then it turned into more of a possession kind of game. But then when teams would try to skate into the zone, handling the puck more often, there's a huge correlation increase in turnovers in the basically in the neutral zone. So they started following teams that went back to dump and chase, but they kind of like changed the wording of it. Instead of saying dump and chase, it's kind of like the idea of you're dumping the puck in an area that you know you're gonna be able to retrieve it back first,
it's like
kind of deal.
Puck retrieval.
Yeah, puck retrieval.
Instead of dump and
Yeah.
chase,
Oh, nice.
Because
Nice
if
pass.
even the term chase, it means that you don't
You're-
have it. Yeah, you're trying.
Exactly,
to
right?
Yeah. Whereas
it was
retrieval
interesting.
is more offensive.
Yeah, exactly. And it was interesting because they kind of went over the differences in teams. Like the teams that started doing it first, they saw a huge decrease in turnovers and had actually more puck possession time because they would just retrieve it first. And then it turned to it went to a point where, because it was so successful stat-wise, most teams in the NHL started doing it. But teams that were highly skilled, that had highly skilled guys like Chicago at the time with Kane, Taves, and all those dudes.
That would have been around 2010, right?
Yeah, so it didn't really work out as well for them. They were actually better off possessing the puck because they're so skilled.
They can make,
So
they can make plays.
yeah, so their numbers were actually better when they were possessing the puck than when they were trying to retrieve it.
Breakout patterns, and
Yeah,
we'll
that's
get
pretty
them up the
interesting.
ice, get them moving up the ice with some momentum, with some good speed, with some good puck control.
I wish those articles on all the data that they collect was easier to find. 'Cause it feels like I mean, like when we did our seminar on Sunday, and I was trying to look for stats as to where not necessarily where the shots are being released from, but where the shots are going to at the net.
Like location,
And I
puck
could,
location.
yeah, and it was so hard to find.
Well, yeah, most of the new data is about shot location.
Yeah, exactly.
And where the shot comes from and the type of play that leads up to it.
Yes. Yeah.
There's been a lot of people trying to come up with better stats for goaltenders, and so that's what they start to look at.
They should just combine both, because I think it's a good idea. Like because location is good, but when you don't know what type of play that it was, it doesn't really tell you the whole story, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, a shot release from bottom circle on a lateral feed is completely different than a shot release bottom circle when the guy's driving the net, right?
Yeah. So one's a blocking play, one probably a spread. In the NHL, probably a spread.
Yeah. So it's completely different, right? Like, and then was it a high to low? Was it a low to low?
Yeah.
Like, was it off a rebound? There's just too much, right?
Well, that's what when you watch like the NHL Network or you watch CBC and they have like their quote unquote scouting report, it just puts like shot location on goals. Like they'll show percentage of goals that go in like high glove, percentage of goals that go in low blocker.
Yeah.
Like that. And it's just like, I get it, but at the same time, it's like, if you give a guy a shot from the hash mark, sure, look at this is important. But it's just, what's going to get, you have to start looking at what's going to give you a better opportunity to score.
Yeah.
Rather than just like, if you have the perfect shot, where should you put it?
Team Canada and the Soviets, I mean, the heat in this building is tremendous. And they must just be very, very tired players right now, and it's very tough for them to get up for this.
I just saw Palmsy's question. I'm trying to find something about it, but knowing how the culture was in Russia, though, they're really big on arts and spectacle. In general, so I would assume, just based on my intuitions only, that they probably had a really cool building.
We'll find it. We'll see it when we get to like Game 5 of the series.
Yeah.
I bet it was packed.
Yeah.
Who scored 2 goals in that second period to
I'm kind of Googling, well, I'm actually on DuckDuckGo, but I'm trying to find Moscow Arena, because I'm assuming they would have played in Moscow. Maybe they would have been in St. Petersburg.
At the end of this game, there will be a special presentation to each of the Canadian and Soviet series. A panel of writers and broadcasters will select the outstanding.
Yeah, do you think they played out of Moscow, out of St. Petersburg?
I would say St. Petersburg because I think it's a more beautiful city.
I see.
Just based on what you said about like, the culture.
Yeah,
That would
yeah.
be my guess because I think there's a lot more scenic buildings.
Yeah.
Especially because this is probably one of the first times that Canada or people from Canada would get any type of a look into the Soviet Union.
I don't know.
Well, that's the thing
You
is,
couldn't just Google what the Soviet Union looked like
yeah, yeah.
back then, right? So like, all you would get is basically footage from these games. So.
Really shocked. And incidentally, in this
in the third period in this series, they'd split they split it after 10 minutes.
Weird.
Yeah, they did that in international hockey, so that each team plays on the same end for 30 minutes.
I used to be such a dick when I was playing. I would, when I knew that like I wouldn't get back to the crease, let's say in the second period for us, I would just start trashing the crease, making holes everywhere.
Yeah, last five minutes of the period, start kicking shit out.
I was such a dick.
You know what's been great about this stream? The first time we watched hockey and we haven't got a copyright claim. Even when it was private, there was no one watching the copyright claim.
Heck, we got copyrighted by the NHL for showing a 15-second clip in a seminar. Like, it was different clips from different games put together that lasted about 15 seconds. And we're commenting on it, and they copy striked us. And it was a private stream.
Yeah, that's crazy. I couldn't believe too when you went on, and it's like the NHL has upheld it. It's like that's not the law.
Yeah.
Like they don't uphold the law.
There's we have a copyright on my my second video when I did the Circle of Life, the Safe Process Circle of Life, because which is, to be fair, because it's I've got basically the whole Lion King song at the end.
That's fair. That's fair. When that happens to you, is there anything negative that comes from YouTube? Or do they just
not really. You just get demonetized. We're not monetized anyway, but you just get demonetized.
Okay, I'm cool with that. For now.
Yeah. I can always edit it. Like it's funny because I rewatch those videos and I'm like, geez, my skills were terrible.
Yeah.
My video skills are terrible. But you don't know till you try it out, right?
Yeah, well, you get better. Right? At the same time, it's like, yes, they were bad, but they were the best skills you had at the time.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh, that could have been an open hit there.
Yeah, there's contact, but there's not just right as I say that, dude gets dumped. There's not that many big, like, open ice hits or anything.
Henderson couldn't get loose, but Clark does down the left side at center.
There you go.
Goes into the corner. Ellis shunted his man out of position and then was knocked over. Puck goes to one side.
So I don't hear the commentator talk about how much faster and more skilled Canada is now they're getting their ass whooped, eh?
Yeah, I was actually shocked when he said that. I was like, are we watching the same game? I don't think we're watching the same game.
No.
Zeman is going into the corner, number 11, jammed there, held against the boards. The puck is loose, though. The point plays it ahead to Henderson, up on the wing. And
I'm really curious to see on Thursday when we watch 1980s hockey, like if there's a big difference between the goaltending and even the play style. It's like, man, again, that was a nice kick save.
I'm curious to see how much different it is.
And it's lobbed out to center ice.
Man, if so far if Ken Dryden was considered like one of the best Canadian goalies around, or one of the best in the NHL, like I can see why Tretiak was considered the best in the world.
Totally. Yeah, he's even just like you can see his systems.
Yeah.
The way he tries to handle plays versus Ken Dryden. Ken Dryden just kicks.
Yeah.
And there's the team play that doesn't exist at times. Harlamov going down that left wing for the Soviets.
Before this, I looked up the NHL, like the top goalie stats from 1972, and there's some guys that had like 920s.
Really?
Like, yeah, in the 70s, there were some guys that were making saves.
With quite a few games played.
Yeah, like 20, over 20. One guy had 45.
Okay.
45, he had over 920.
You're looking at Harlamov. Has to be their top player. Now, he's a complete hockey player. Look at the footwork here. Kicks it up, gets it back into place to shoot.
Look at that kick save, man.
On his stick, it's gone. Dryden was called upon to make a big save.
Good puck collection off the pads there.
Backing right in on his defense or on his goaltender, and this is causing Dryden a lot of trouble getting a good clear chance to see the puck.
All set for the face-off with Petrov knocking it wide.
It's no kidding to get scored on off the face-off. Did you see that stance?
Yeah. He just bends over at his back. His lower back must be sore.
You just saw Tretiak getting scored off the face-off like super quick, and you're like, yeah, it won't happen to me.
Canadian blue line. You can see that fog coming up off the ice there. Must be disturbing to the players. Hadfield now starts down the left side, and it's shot right back to center ice where Park.
I don't think there was any netting behind the net either.
Oh no, netting? Netting behind the net didn't come until like 2000, early 2000s.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. No, there was. I remember when it happened. There was in Minnesota. So it would have been after the Minnesota Wild came in. That was 99. So in early 2000s. A puck came off the goalie's stick and hit a young girl in the head, and she ended up dying, I think.
Jesus.
Yeah, she had to go to the. I know she had to get rushed to the hospital. I think she ended up passing away, and that's when everyone started putting the mesh behind the nets.
It's crazy they didn't do it sooner, because man, pucks are flying off the stick.
Oh yeah.
Hey. It's like off the sides, I get it, right? Like guys flip the puck out, like nobody's taking clappers, right? Like, you're dumping it off the glass, but man.
Has not yet been able to combine as the unit they must. The crowd's trying to pick them up here.
Yeah, so
they had the. I just noticed they have the squared creases.
Oh, you just noticed that?
Yeah, I just noticed that.
Yeah, it's got the corners and everything, soccer style.
Shadron is in center ice for the Soviet with Yakushev and Zeman on the wings. Zeman 11. Puck is over on that far side. Lyapkin and Polodev are on the defense for the Soviet. Down the right wing for Zeman. Gets a shot away.
Yeah, man, it's
just went
across the blue and clap.
That just went off the guy's stick straight out.
Into the crowd. You can see the fog coming off the ice there now. Seems to be getting worse all the time.
It's interesting when you see the Soviets slap the puck like that. That's a habit that I think they picked up from the North American hockey.
Why?
A slap shot? I'm pretty sure that was the only way to shoot a puck with the straight stick. There's no other way to shoot a puck.
LaPointe getting lots of extra work after the first period.
Like, do you think they watched a lot of NHL hockey from Russia, like back then? You know, was it even been broadcasted there?
I wonder. I'm sure they would have had game footage. Like, for their training, I'm sure they would have had some type of footage.
Yeah.
And the puck is shot down the ice into the Canadian zone.
How they would have got it, I'm not sure.
Because it would have been VHS, I guess,
Yeah.
Or Beta. Well, I don't know whichever was more popular at the time.
Probably VHS.
Yeah.
The face-off will be in the Soviet zone. Maltsev is ready for the face-off, but Clark moves away.
Phil Esposito must feel a little bit like he's in that series against Montreal a few years ago.
Esposito played for Chicago, right?
Yeah, I think so. The goalie did.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not sure about the player. They're brothers. I'm not sure about the forward.
I see.
Let's
find out. It was Tony, right?
Tony's the goalie. Phil's the player. Tony played for Chicago.
And that fog is getting quite bad in the Canadian zone. Soviets still keep it in there.
Oh, that was sweet.
Chicago, Blackhawks, Bruins, Rangers.
This is Tony?
Yeah.
What about Phil?
Oh, sorry, Phil. That was
Phil.
Phil.
Too. Okay.
Yeah.
Pass to Henderson, who knocked kicked it to the corner. Ragland was there to stop it, and they lob it out. Malt.
What was that like living in Boston with the Boston Bruins and stuff? Are fans pretty intense? They seem pretty intense.
Yeah, their sport is crazy. Honestly,
Yeah.
they're and for good reason. I think their town has the most championships between, I think, 4 different sports of any other city.
Oh, wow.
Because they have Bruins,
Red Sox.
Bruins, Red Sox, Celtics, and the Patriots. And the Patriots are
Yeah.
the most dominant team, other than this year, the most dominant team of the decade.
Mm-hmm.
So their sport's crazy.
Crazy. Okay.
Yeah, it's you don't walk around without seeing like multiple hats jerseys from multiple teams.
I see.
Yeah, it's fun too. Like, because the teams are always good. I don't know. Do you remember the last time Calgary went past the first round in the playoffs? They played Vancouver first round. Eddie Lack was in net. And then they played Anaheim second round.
Yep.
That was it's like that all the time there. Like, do you remember the feeling? I didn't live here when the Red Mile happened. I
was there when they I was there. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But it's kind of like that all the time because there's always really fun stuff happening around multiple different sports. Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
Do they riot if they lose?
No, absolutely
Oh,
not.
they're not hardcore enough then.
No.
They're pretenders.
They don't lose though. They just don't lose. That's the other thing. You can just not lose.
Slow down the play. The tempo has been too fast.
We actually care here. We're legit. We riot when we lose.
Yeah, it's fun. Like, I was there for the season when Vancouver played the Bruins and the Bruins won. I wasn't there for the playoffs because I was back home. Because that would have been in June for the playoffs year that the Stanley Cup final happened. But like, it is super fun being in a town with a Stanley Cup team.
Yeah.
There's always sort of this aura, and like at school there was, I think it was when the Patriots lost to the Giants, New York Giants. Like they lost in the Super Bowl, and the next day, like you could just feel it in the town, like across the whole area. You can just kind of feel this weight. It's really interesting.
Yeah. It's like when the Flames went to the Stanley Cup Finals against Tampa Bay in the 04 season. It's when I moved to Calgary, actually. And
I didn't live here.
That was interesting. I mean, you could definitely feel the energy. Everybody had Calgary Flames flags on their cars. Everybody that was driving, if the Flames would score, because everybody was listening to the radio, people would start honking. everybody would be honking on the road. I lived in the Northeast in Vista Heights, right off 16th Ave, and from there we could actually hear the Red Mile at night. And I mean, we were like, maybe like 20K away. You could hear it.
It's awesome. Yeah, so it's a fun time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like it kind of sucks if you lose, because then you have this nagging feeling of like a weight on your back without anything that you can control. And like you logically know, you're like, why am I attached to this? Especially guys like us who don't really get attached to teams or anything. That was a sick pass.
Nice little tip. Get a center shift on that.
But yeah, you kind of feel like how Jonathan Haidt talks about the intuitions, or the elephant. You kind of feel this weight and this heaviness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's cool.
That makes it Soviets 4, Canada 3.
That was a beautiful shot by Ronnie Ellis because he was smart enough to keep the puck on the ice. He's shooting from a perfect area.
Yeah, that's a nice play.
Clark parked right on the goal step, and he just tips it in, and is he happy? A big goal for Canada because
they were 4-3 now.
And a half minutes left, and it's now anybody's hockey game.
This will really stir them up. This is what was needed for Canada. Now then, Canada on the move. A shot right on Tretiak. The crowd are going wild. Park going from the corner.
Dude, that was a really cool blocker save. Like, you know, we talk about up-down decision making when guys are sliding and getting out, but like when he's close to post, like so when he's close to low corridor, he stands up on everything because he doesn't need much like horizontal coverage. All you need is vertical coverage. So he just stands up. It's interesting. But when shots are coming from more like the middle of the ice, he starts to go down.
Yeah.
Kick out because you need the extra horizontal coverage.
It's just extending more.
Yeah.
Henderson and Ellis got assists on Clark's goal to make it 4-3 for the Soviets and put Canada back in the game. Here they come again. Canada moving up over the line.
Oh, there you go. There's a delay. That was a nice play.
Mahovlich, who missed it. Sealing takes a shot. Red Berenson recovers.
Well, especially like what you were saying earlier, but not a lot of them stop, right? If you just delay, man, like everybody's gonna be flying by you, and you're always gonna have a high guy to hit.
It's like when we were talking about playing roller hockey. The one guy that can stop on rollerblades just has
Yeah. Yeah.
You just go down, you delay, all of a sudden people just fly by you.
They're a little shaky at the moment under Canadian pressure. The point starting a rush. Fed it up to center ice.
When did name tags start becoming a thing? Did it have name tags in the NHL at that point?
I'm not sure. You'd have to look that up.
Yeah.
10 minutes to
'Cause,
go, and the fans are
I'm wondering
going
if it was
wild all over the country.
the name
And right
tag
here,
became a
they're
thing
just
when they
standing
tried to
up
sell
with Gary
players
Goal, Canada goal.
Yeah.
to the
Canada
public.
leading
Like
team,
I'm
one more goal to
curious.
tie it up.
Or you even
Puck goes
merch.
to Bergman to center
Yeah.
ice to
Trying to
Esposito,
sell
who was
merch.
checked quickly by Petrov. Over to Blinov.
It was
to the corner,
definitely a
Park,
North
Kim
American
out.
thing.
Yeah, I don't think
Definitely a capitalist thing to do.
the communists are all the same.
Yeah.
They all have the same name.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Berkey would know.
Now Esposito going down with Bergman. He just failed to get the pass. Bergman and Kuskin going back to the net, and the Soviets shoot it down the ice. Park is going back for it. It's sliding slowly over the line, and that ice is very sticky.
Is this the first icing call we've seen all game?
There was a couple. I've seen a couple.
Okay.
Yeah.
There are people all over the world.
I didn't
seeing
notice
this
them.
game in television in the Soviet Union, all over Europe, Canada, the United States.
And it's a tremendous hockey
That must
game.
have been a
Dryden
huge
has
sporting event,
everything.
man. Like
I think that goal by Bobby Clark has shaken
the amount of people that were probably watching live at that point.
Yeah, my dad told me that like when it was a game 8, the final game was happening at
Yep.
his school, they just took everyone out of class and put them in the gym and set up one
That's
TV
awesome.
for all of them to watch.
That's
it.
awesome.
Clark
Yeah.
is at center with Henderson and Ellis. The puck goes to the corner. Vladiev failed to clear
That's
it
how
out.
it felt when I was at the
Another
Olympics in
drive on the
Vancouver.
same play,
Yeah.
26 long
I was
and
the final game when I thought Tretiak was gonna slash him here. Yeah, we were watching outside and they had Live City Vancouver is what it was called, and it was just a big stadium where you could just watch the game outside.
Yeah.
And we were just watching the final there, and it felt like the energy was crazy there, but it felt like the whole country was watching.
Yeah.
It was an interesting feeling.
Tried to get a pass. It rolls out at center ice, and the puck goes high into the
Yeah, it's
crowd.
like there's not many events that you can kind of remember that a country is doing the same. Everyone's doing the same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Henderson line, because there's no question that
And
they
I'm
are
sure
The,
this was one
as
of
a
them.
unit, and it shows
Well,
every time
South
they're
Park
running
actually made an
the
episode on
Bobby
this
Clark,
once.
unfortunately,
It was
the
about
way
TV
he's
shows.
probably the best
Oh,
player
yeah,
in hockey today.
Mandalorian, right?
Yeah, when Scott Malkinson wants to get streaming, but his dad wants
Yeah.
a cable company. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was an interesting thing because the argument was basically that dad was making is that when you watch things on stream, when you have so much available to you, you lose social cohesion because your neighbor's not watching the same thing that you're watching, right? If everybody watches the same thing, well, you're connecting more to your neighbors because you know what they're seeing. Yeah. But it was funny because he had a point, but then all the kids at school for Scott Malkinson were talking about the Mandalorian. So it's like a weird, so it's like a weird thing where like it's true that you probably get less social cohesion when it comes down to your neighborhood, I guess, and between adults, but like between kids, they're probably all watching the same thing. Because like, what else are you gonna talk about when you're at school with your friends, right?
Well, the way I like to see it is it's sort of just it can expand your circle based on physical location.
That was my bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Based on physical location. So, for example, if you and I want to talk about a book that we both read and want to bond over that, maybe no one in my physical location does it, but we can call each other, or we can do this. We can chat online. So, I think, like, I see the value in it, but I think it kind of misses the point. Like a Reddit board can have the same type of social cohesion that your neighborhood could.
Yeah, that's true. There's some drawback to it, because then you get furries, you know. They all find each other.
Well, that's a problem. Now you have to go to an online message board to find people that are have the same interests as you. Now you're getting ads.
Yeah.
You're getting the ads. You're falling into the algorithm, and then next thing you know, you're
clogging a machine.
Yeah, you're clogging the machine, clogging the queue machine.
Yeah.
LaPointe played it over to the open wing. LaPointe goes after it, drives it on into the corner for Canada, in back of the net, and Lecheko.
So I was listening to Nina Schick, and she's been an advisor for. Oh, that was a nice stop.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
he's fiery.
There you go. Yeah, he deserved that little shove. Yeah, she's an advisor for multiple governments, like in Europe, in the U.S. and everything. But she just wrote a book about deep fakes.
I've heard her speak.
Yeah.
That sounds familiar. Yeah.
She was talking about how much faster disinformation is nowadays, obviously because of the internet and algorithms. But just saying that back in the 80s, I believe, Russia made a fake. They basically made a fake lie that the U.S. were the ones who created AIDS to kill a bunch of gay people and everything.
Yeah.
And it took years. Like it took about 10 years for it to take over. But finally, like people even to this day still believe in the conspiracy. But she was basically arguing like that back then it's like it was still happening, but it was man, what were you doing there? Yeah. What did you do? He just charged right out.
Yeah, I remember listening to that, and she was talking about how there's a large number of people in the United States who believe the government manufactured AIDS.
Yeah. And that was a bad, terrible play. Just challenge more on that one. You just didn't challenge enough. See, if he was at the hash marks, that was a save. Yeah, that went 5-0. But yeah, she was basically making a point that disinformation happened back then too, but how long it took. Oh, he almost did the exact same thing here. Look at that.
He ended up torpedoing it.
Yeah. It's like he did the same play. But yeah, now it just spreads way faster.
Puck is at center ice, cleared over the line to Zeman, and Canada recovers. Zeman goes right after it, centers it out. Chadwin had a drive that was wide. Soviet keep it in. Lyapkin had a shot. Mahovlich tried to get it clear, drives it to the corner. Frank Mahovlich starts down the left side.
Did you ever read the Gulag Archipelago?
No, I want to, but there's 3 volumes and it's super thick.
Yeah.
Have you?
No. This is the same thing. I wanted to read it, but after seeing how thick it was, I was like, I don't know.
That's just 1 volume. There's 3 volumes.
This is pure domination here.
Yeah. Pure oppression, one might say.
This is what the Soviets do. They score in bunches. They'll get you when you're down a little bit. Zeman just
this is a sick move, though.
Fake shot.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, they're skilled. They're way more skilled.
Dryden has already made his move. And he buries it in the far corner. Dryden made the move on that first end.
What are we at? We're at 7-3 now? 6-3?
6-3, yeah.
He was very lucky that it kicked back up to his foot, and he got by Dryden
just a minute ago.
And threw it in the far side.
This game's getting out of hand fast.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being like a Canadian and quite obviously a Canadian fan at this time, and the first time you see this Russian team, they just destroy you? Like you're sure Canada hockey's your national game.
Yeah.
Everyone in the NHL is Canadian. You're just sure that you're gonna steamroll, and you just rolled 8-3.
Canada 3. This is game 1 from Montreal.
Oh, that's a huge beating.
Yeah.
5 minutes left. Yeah.
5:15 remaining in the game.
Dude, I'm interested to read more about the beginnings of hockey. Like finding out that it's like it was actually in Egypt, like 13,000 BC, I think is what it was.
Really? So it's just basically a games with a ball and a stick.
Well, yeah, but it seemed to be only being played individually. So you had so the tablet that they found was two guys. Actually, it may have been two women as well. They think it may have been a women's game actually. But they're kind of like at a face-off bending over, and then there's people. They're in a tablet. There's people watching, so it seems to be like a one-on-one game.
Center got the draw. Center in front of the net. A shot. Mahavlich thought it was in the net.
That's a nice butterfly.
And Tretiak kept it out, and it's Phil Esposito going back to get it.
But yeah, even there's some tablets from Greece, but in Greece, it seemed like it was turning into more of a team sport at that point. Obviously, it wasn't on ice, right?
Yeah.
But that's what I'm curious to see is like what the games actually were, if I can find that out, and then I want to try to find out when, like how it kind of split up, right? If it's split into field hockey first, and then because like you said last time, to create on ice hockey, you need to have the technology of making steel, and
Well, I actually looked that up a little bit, and as we were talking, I looked up the history of ice skating, and people used to skate on bones.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
they use bones to skate on. So there was ice skating before the invention of steel.
Interesting. Okay.
So it'd be interesting to find out when they started playing games on skates.
Yeah. And it seemed like in England they're actually using corks, beer corks, as a puck basically, and they think that the name hockey came from actually a beer that was called Hawk Ale.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Rattel couldn't get anywhere. Park recovers, goes over the line. Park fakes a shot, goes into the corner, shoots, and it's deflected high into the crowd. But the Soviet team just seemed to have a player on the attacker every time.
They don't give you many chances, but again we saw an example. Brad Park making a good individual effort, but there is no teamwork. He didn't quite know who to pass it to, so he played it himself. The Soviet player takes him into the corner, puts the stick on the ice, deflects it off into the crowd. There's Karmelov, who I have to feel is probably one of the top Soviet players.
From the face-off, Bergman couldn't keep the puck in and has to go back to get it at center ice. Park takes the pass, then back to Bergman at the blue line. Petrov watching him. They shoot it over the line. Into the corner.
I'm surprised there's not as much shuffling as I thought there would be from the goalies.
There's almost none. It's like Dryden C cuts all the time.
Yeah.
Tretiak does shuffle, but not
as
that much. Like but because he's more conservative, he's able to actually stay kind of in space. But even there, he just drifted back.
Yeah.
Then Gilbert tries to help out. Going into the cup.
But Dryden's so far out all the time that he just has to see cut.
Soviets have taken over control again. For about 3 or 4 minutes, Team Canada really picked it up. When they got that goal by Bobby Clark, it looked like they had the momentum to maybe get the goal to tie it up. The Soviets were running around a little bit. They had lost their confidence. They went back in the shell, but they picked up a couple of goals. They now know that they've got the game in good control, so they're not going to take any chances. I have to say, Foster, I am really impressed with
That's a slow change.
Yeah,
Canada came
yeah,
up with
it take a while.
These men out there, they have to be tired. They're not in the top physical condition yet. We know that, and they'll play better hockey as this series progresses.
Berenson got the draw. Is a shot right on. Tretiak made the save again on.
the dude just said they're not in top physical condition. I wonder what the off-ice training was like for Canada. Like, you can almost guarantee the Soviets are in way better shape right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you wonder if they did any off-ice training.
I'm sure everybody else in the world will be. Did he pick the right 19 players?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I believe he did pick the right 19
I mean, it's always been the joke, right? Of guys show up at camp in shape, and back then you had camp to get in shape, right? So.
Or you just didn't show up to camp.
Yeah.
Is going to center ice. Harlamov and Vikolov are the forwards as the puck is cleared out to center ice. Berenson.
The other thing too is like, what did they eat the day before, right? Like, I mean, I remember when I was a kid. It's still against with some teams, but it's just carb load all the time, right? Just like eat as much lasagna as you can before your game, right?
That's what the research was.
Yeah.
Carbohydrates for energy.
Yeah.
Carbs for energy. Carbs equal energy.
I mean, it's not wrong, but
it's also not really right.
Yeah.
Back of the net, Redmond tried to center it out, hit Lachenko's skate, and the Soviet come right back with Harlamov.
Well, that's a good delay.
Yeah. Oh, try to go between the legs here. Slick. Lost it, but it was fairly slick.
I mean, you got a 3-goal lead with 2 minutes left. Why not?
Yeah.
If there's a time to try it.
Going down with Bergman on the right side. He played it off the boards to Redmond. He fired it in front, and the puck is shot down the ice. 1:56 left in the game. Soviets leading 6-3 in a tremendous hockey game here, the first of a series.
Yeah, the Russians are so much more skilled.
Yeah. Like, Canada doesn't really even pick up passes flat.
Bless you.
Scare the dog.
But I'm really curious to see what made Canada come back. Like, how did they? Oh, jeez. Charging again.
Yeah, like how they adapted.
Absolutely a beautiful goal, because is there ever a lot of beautiful work along the boards? Look at the stick work here. He makes
that was silky.
Yeah.
Yakashev holds him on the post.
Yeah, straight out.
Backhand. Yakashev is 6'1". It looks like Frank Mahovlich scoring that goal. But what he tried to do, which he did so beautifully,
he look like Frank
is hold
Mahovlich?
right on the
I don't know what
post
that guy
with
looks
your
like.
forehand. Then he brings the big sweep. He moves the puck about 12 feet and throws it in the far side, and the goalie doesn't have a chance.
Well, I wouldn't say he didn't have a chance, but
He didn't really give himself one.
Yeah.
Like, he could have just shuffled and then stood up and made that save.
Yeah. I wonder if we'll see Esposito in the next game then.
I can't remember when he comes in. I know he plays. I don't know if it's right away, though.
Maybe he's the one that comes in, gets the win.
I'm pretty sure he takes over. I'm pretty sure he ends up being like the starting goalie, but I don't remember when.
Oh, is that a headshot?
I think he jumped high enough to make it not hit his head.
Okay.
Like, that dude's so tall. If he gets hit in the head, that puck is going straight over the glass.
Well, he bends over so much. Look where his head is. You know what? To be honest, I thought, like, oh, was there a fight? Oh, jeez, yeah.
There's an example there of total frustration by Team Canada. I don't honestly believe that anybody is intensely trying to hurt each other, but there was a lot of sticks up around the head there.
Yeah, going in, I thought the goalies were going to have, not be able to be very mobile, but I thought they were going to have, like, fairly decent stances.
No.
But even watching that, I'm like, man, like, their stance is not good. Yeah, it's not bad.
But that's the thing, like, Tretiak can make a strong save attempt.
Yeah.
Like, even when he makes skate saves, it's, like, dynamic. He gets good extension. When he wants Dryden, he just kind of jumps into saves all the time.
Yeah. That's why what made all the big difference is just the basics, right? Nothing's more basic than a decent stance, right? So.
but they'll also score a lot of goals against you.
They've shown that tonight. Petrov.
He didn't even look on angle off that face-off. Take a look at that.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
But they'll also score a lot
So it
of
looks
Dude,
like
he's
he's
not.
off.
He's on angle to the D-man.
Slid one wide of the goal. Ori from the corner shoots it down the ice. Gusev let it go. Gusev goes back to recover. Gusev fed a forward pass at center ice. Blinov comes over onto the left wing, coming up at center ice. And the game is over.
Yeah, 7-3.
7-3 for the comrades.
The comrades take it.
Of an 18
Woo!
series by a score of 7-3. The Soviets 7, Canada 3. The final
That's crazy.
score,
They got smacked.
Yeah,
the Soviets
yeah, that wasn't
7
good at
and
all.
Canada 3. This is game 1 from Montreal.
Oh, fuck. I wonder when this was. Like, time of the year. Like, if it was, like,
see.
August just before the NHL season.
Summit Series Game 1. September 2nd.
Okay, so right before the NHL season.
Yeah.
So they're using this to get in shape. Basically.
Last game, Game 8, was September 28th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I was a little bit disappointed in the goaltending. I thought we'd see some more basic stuff like better stance, more shuffling.
I was hoping it was a little bit better for sure.
Maybe it comes in the 80s. I don't know.
Could be.
I guess we'll find out because I mean, when we watch the 85 game, it's almost 15 years later, so there might be a huge difference, right? But I don't know.
They probably have basic stances and like I'm sure their save attempts will be more dynamic at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm real curious about it. Or the other thing too is, do you think there would just be no changes, where it's kind of like it was just flat till the 90s? I don't think so, but I mean that's a possibility as well.
Yeah, I wonder. Like obviously the biggest change is the 90s. We talked about that on Sunday. The biggest change being the butterfly. But I don't know. I don't actually know because we didn't really watch any 80s hockeys, right?
Yeah, we haven't. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll find out.
I guess
We'll find out.
Check into it. We'll
But
see.
I guess that's it for today.
Yeah,
You gotta
we'll call
go.
it good. Not yet. About a half hour. But,
I see.
yeah.
Just bet on something cool for me, will you?
Yeah, I will. There's what is
Is
it?
it-
It's a jewelry auction.
Oh, it's a jewelry auction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They do they ever have auctions for old collectible stuff? Because I'd be down for that.
Yeah, they totally do. There's some in this one, but nothing really that stood out.
Okay.
Yeah, there's everything. They have everything. They have art auctions. They have jewelry auctions. They have collectibles. They have furniture. There's furniture auctions
Okay.
all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause for my birthday, my dad actually gave me my grandpa's old coin collection. Well, it was actually not
Oh, that's
coin.
cool.
I already have his coins. That was his bill collection, and
cool.
it was pretty cool seeing like old bills and stuff that he's got from the 50s and 40s and stuff. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's not bad. There's some cool things. Like so, we went there yesterday strictly to look at jewelry. So
Fair enough.
But yeah.
Fair enough.
it's not bad.
Well, shall we call it a day?
Yeah, we'll call it. That's
Perfect.
fun.